Across the vast landscapes of Africa, Eid al-Adha is not just a day for prayer and sacrifice. It is a celebration that comes alive with sound, rhythm, and movement. For millions of Muslims from the sandy deserts of North Africa to the lush savannas of the south, Eid is a time when the spirit of joy and community fills the air. And at the heart of these celebrations are the pulsating rhythms of African drums, the swaying movements of dancers, and the voices of praise singers, each playing a crucial role in bringing the festivities to life. This celebration, observed by Muslims around the world, marks the end of the Hajj pilgrimage and commemorates the willingness of Abraham, to sacrifice his son, Ishmael, in obedience to God's command. But in Africa, Eid is more than just a religious observance. It is a moment where cultural expressions fuse with faith and where music and dance transcend mere entertainment to become sacred acts. In this episode, we explore how traditional African music, drums, dances, and poetry are woven into the fabric of Eid celebrations across the continent. From the Wolof Sabar drumming in Senegal to trance chants in Sudan and Ethiopia, talking drums and masquerades in northern Nigeria, and the rich praise singing in Fulani and Swahili cultures, Eid is an African celebration of sound and movement, where the spiritual and the cultural converge. For centuries, African Muslims have added their own distinctive touches to the global tradition of Eid, making it not just a day of solemn prayer, but also a vibrant expression of cultural pride, community, and joy. It is a celebration that echoes through the heartbeats of drums, the rhythm of feet in dance, and the collective spirit of people united in faith and festivity. So, join us as we journey across the diverse cultures of Muslim Africa and discover how music, rhythm, and celebration transform Eid into a living, breathing experience. A celebration that stirs the soul and connects the living with the divine. In Senegal, where the rhythm of the drums pulses through the heart of the people, Eid al-Adha is more than just a religious observance. It is an immersive celebration of music, culture, and community. At the center of this festive occasion is the Wolof Sabar drumming, a captivating and powerful art form that echoes the spiritual heartbeat of the Senegalese people. The Sabar drum, a large single-headed drum traditionally played with the hands or sticks, has been at the center of Senegalese music for centuries. It is considered the spiritual pulse of the community, calling people together in both joyous celebration and solemn reflection. During Eid, the Sabar drums take on a heightened significance, serving as the rhythm of the celebration, drawing people together for prayer, dance, and festivity. The Wolof people, one of Senegal's largest ethnic groups, are known for their mastery of the Sabar. The sound of the drum is more than just music. It is an invitation to join the community in a spiritual experience. Each beat is a call to unite in celebration and devotion, as the rhythms create an atmosphere of collective joy, transcending boundaries between the living and the divine. During Eid celebrations, the Sabar drummers play at community gatherings, leading the faithful in processions and prayers. The beats of the drum fill the air as worshippers gather, and soon the music transitions from a ceremonial rhythm to a vibrant celebration of life, family, and faith. As the drumming continues, the dancers take their turn, moving in rhythm to the powerful beats, their bodies swaying with the rhythm of the drum. The dances, deeply rooted in Senegalese culture, express a wide range of emotions: joy, gratitude, and devotion. Eid in Senegal is a time for the entire community to come together, where the drums, dance, and music fill the air with a contagious energy that embodies the spirit of unity and celebration. The Sabar drum and its accompanying dance are not only central to Senegal's Eid celebrations, they are an expression of the country's rich cultural heritage, where the boundaries between faith, art, and community are blurred. This rhythm is a celebration of life, an offering of praise, and a spiritual connection to the divine, all wrapped into one pulsating, vibrant celebration. Across the African continent, music and dance serve as more than just a form of entertainment. They are powerful spiritual tools that connect the human and divine. In Sudan and Ethiopia, The Zar ritual is one such tradition that blends music, drums, and chanting to create an intense spiritual experience, particularly during Eid al-Adha celebrations. The Zar is an ancient trance ceremony that is believed to have originated in the Horn of Africa and is practiced in various forms across Sudan and Ethiopia. Traditionally, it is seen as a spiritual healing practice, where participants, often women, seek to rid themselves of spiritual or emotional ailments through trance dancing, chanting, and drumming. During Eid al-Adha, the Zar ceremony takes on a celebratory tone as people gather to mark the occasion with ecstatic rhythms and chants. In these rituals, the community uses drums, often dumbeks or other local percussion instruments, to create a rhythm that is believed to invite the presence of spirits. The trance is induced by the repetitive beats, building up a spiritual energy that elevates the participants into a heightened state of awareness. The drums and chanting, a sacred ritual. The heartbeat of the Zar ritual is the rhythm of the drums. The drummers, skilled in their craft, create complex polyrhythms that guide the dancers into trance. The repetitive, hypnotic nature of the drumming mirrors the rhythmic pulse of the universe, providing the dancers with a connection to the divine. The drummers' beats are complemented by chanting, a sacred form of vocal prayer that brings the community into unity and devotion. As the drumming intensifies, the dancers enter a trance state, moving their bodies in fluid, ritualistic motions. This trance is believed to allow participants to communicate with the divine and to receive spiritual healing. The experience is both personal and communal, as the collective energy of the community, unified through rhythm and movement, creates a powerful spiritual atmosphere. The Zar chants, often in Arabic or local languages, are an essential part of the experience. They invoke the presence of divine spirits and offer praises for the blessings of the season. The chants can vary, with praise songs for the Prophet Muhammad and prayers for peace, health, and prosperity in the coming year. The connection to Eid al-Adha. During Eid al-Adha, the Zar ceremony becomes more than just a healing ritual. It is a celebration of faith and renewal. The act of trance dancing and chanting during this holy time is a way for Sudanese and Ethiopian Muslims to connect with their spirituality, celebrate the sacrifice of Ibrahim, and give thanks for the blessings of life. The Zar ceremony's transformative power mirrors the deeper, transcendent nature of Eid al-Adha itself, a celebration of sacrifice, devotion, and divine mercy. The drumming, chanting, and movement allow participants to elevate their spirits and experience the sacredness of the occasion. In northern Nigeria, Eid al-Adha is a vibrant celebration filled with powerful rhythms, dynamic dances, and talking drums that echo through the streets, bringing communities together in joy and reverence. The talking drum, or dun-dun, is a unique and culturally significant instrument that plays a key role in Eid festivities in this region. It isn't just a drum, it's a voice, capable of mimicking the tone and rhythm of human speech, making it an essential part of both communication and celebration. Talking drums, the voice of the community. The dun-dun drum, typically played with two curved sticks, produces a range of sounds that can imitate speech, making it one of the most versatile and dynamic instruments in the African drum family. In northern Nigeria, particularly among the Yoruba people, the talking drum is used to convey messages, tell stories, and engage in praise singing. During Eid al-Adha, the talking drum takes on an even more significant role. The rhythms and patterns of the drum serve as a spiritual guide, accompanying the faithful in their prayers and celebrations. The drummers work in harmony with the community, creating a rhythmic foundation that underscores the importance of the day. The drummers' messages, often delivered in praise of the Prophet Muhammad and the sacrifices made by Ibrahim, resonate through the streets. These rhythmic prayers are an embodiment of the spiritual devotion that marks the sacrifice and commemoration of Eid. The talking drums set the tone for the day's festivities, guiding the rhythms of prayer and movement. Eid masquerades, a visual and auditory spectacle. In addition to the sounds of the talking drums, Eid masquerades are another striking feature of northern Nigerian celebrations. These masquerades, also known as Ayo or Gani, are colorful and elaborate performances where performers wear masks, costumes, and attire that represent various traditional characters. The masquerades are not just for entertainment. They are part of the cultural fabric of Eid, symbolizing community unity and the spiritual journey. The performers, often dancing to the rhythms of the talking drums, take on different roles: spirits, ancestors, or divine figures. Their presence in the streets adds to the joyous atmosphere as the community watches in awe and admiration. These masquerades are both a celebration of life and a commemoration of the divine, as participants perform movements and gestures that tell stories of sacrifice, faith, and renewal. The combined sound of the talking drum and the visual spectacle of the masquerades creates a powerful aesthetic experience, blending faith and art into a living, breathing expression of culture. The energy is infectious as people of all ages gather to witness and participate in this collective celebration. The beats of the drum become a call to dance, to honor the sacred, and to celebrate the unity of the community. A community bonded through sound and movement. In northern Nigeria, the combination of talking drums and Eid masquerades formed the backbone of a celebration that is as much about community as it is about spirituality. It's a reminder that for the people of northern Nigeria, Eid al-Adha is not just about sacrifice. It is about the joy of coming together as a community, honoring the divine through both the sacred sounds of the drums and the vibrant movements of the masquerade. Across the Sahel and East Africa, praise singing plays a vital role in the celebration of Eid al-Adha, a time when communities come together not only to pray and feast, but to express their devotion through song and lyrical tributes. From the Fulani people of West Africa to the Swahili communities of East Africa, the celebration of Eid is infused with melodies, poetry, and praise that resonate deeply within these rich cultural traditions. 1. Fulani praise singing, the voice of ancestry. For the Fulani people, Eid is a time to honor both Allah and their ancestors. Praise singing, often led by skilled bards or griots, is an integral part of the Eid celebrations. The songs are a spiritual journey, an expression of gratitude, reverence, and community solidarity. In Fulani culture, praise singers are regarded as custodians of history. They carry the stories of the past through their voices, celebrating the great deeds of heroes, leaders, and religious figures. These songs are more than just celebrations of the living. They are an embodiment of the ancient connection between the people and their past. During Eid, Fulani praise singers often focus on the Prophet Muhammad, his virtues, and the sacrifice of Ibrahim. The words are powerful, with each verse carrying prayers for prosperity, health, and blessings. The rhythm of their songs is often accompanied by drums, tambourines, or flutes, creating a festive atmosphere that adds to the spiritual ambience of the day. The Fulani praise singer is more than just a performer. They are a spiritual guide, weaving history and faith into a unified voice that resonates through the hearts of the community. Their songs express the sacred and secular dimensions of life, merging devotion with cultural pride. 2. Swahili praise singing, the poetry of faith. Further east, in the coastal regions of East Africa, the Swahili-speaking people celebrate Eid with a rich blend of Islamic and African traditions, and one of the key expressions of this cultural fusion is praise singing. Swahili praise singing is often linked to the poetic traditions of the coast, where oral storytelling is a revered art form. Swahili praise songs are known for their elegance and lyrical beauty, as well as their connection to Islamic spirituality. The singers, often accompanied by traditional drums or string instruments, chant praises to Allah, the Prophet Muhammad, and the sacrificial spirit of Eid. The performance is not just auditory, but a ritual, with the audience often participating in the call and response tradition, amplifying the connection between performer and listener. In many Swahili communities, praise singing is part of the broader cultural celebration of Eid al-Adha, where the songs invoke not only the names of divine figures, but also the values of peace, compassion, and generosity, qualities deeply associated with both the religious observance and the cultural expressions of Swahili life. The melodies are often slow and reflective during the religious parts of the service, but they build into upbeat, joyous rhythms as the day progresses. This transition mirrors the mood of Eid itself, a time for reflection and reverence, followed by joy and celebration as communities come together to mark the end of the spiritual journey and the arrival of a new year. 3. The cultural significance of praise singing. In both Fulani and Swahili cultures, praise singing is not merely about vocal performance, it is a cultural anchor. These songs preserve the identity of the community, passing down traditions, legends, and spiritual teachings from generation to generation. They serve as reminders of the values that bind the community together and offer a spiritual connection to the divine. Praise singing is also a form of social cohesion. It provides a collective voice for the community, uniting people in prayer, celebration, and gratitude. Whether in the Fulani camps of West Africa or the coastal towns of East Africa, the practice of praise singing during Eid creates a powerful bond between the people, their faith, and their culture. 4. The role of music and song in Eid celebrations. Both the Fulani and Swahili traditions exemplify how music, dance, and poetry during Eid al-Adha go beyond performance. They are central to spiritual expression. The voices that rise during this time are not only voices of praise, but also voices of community, unity, and devotion. These songs weave together a tapestry of religion, culture, and history, providing a soundtrack to the spiritual journeys of the people as they gather to honor their faith and celebrate their shared heritage. Across the vast and diverse landscapes of Africa, one constant unites the different Eid al-Adha celebrations: the drums. Whether in the deserts of North Africa, the forests of Central Africa, or the savannas of West and East Africa, drums play an essential role in bringing the spirit of Eid to life. They are not just instruments, they are the heartbeat of the community, connecting people to one another, to their ancestors, and to the divine. 1. Drums as the sacred pulse. In Africa, drums are often seen as more than just musical instruments. They are the voices of the ancestors, the channels through which the spiritual world communicates with the living. During Eid, this spiritual connection is heightened. The drums that echo through the streets, mosques, and villages during Eid celebrations carry not only the joy and rhythm of the community, but also the prayers, hopes, and gratitude of the people. The drumming rituals are not only about creating music, but about invoking spiritual energy, marking a collective expression of faith and unity. Whether it's the talking drums in Nigeria, Sabar drumming in Senegal, or Zar trance rhythms in Sudan and Ethiopia, the drums serve as a spiritual guide, setting the tone for both devotion and celebration. 2. Drumming as a call to gather. The sounds of the drums during Eid are often the first sign that the celebration is underway. In villages and cities alike, the rhythmic beats draw people out of their homes and into the heart of the celebration. The communal nature of drumming during Eid serves as a call to gather, a reminder that the festival is not only a personal religious observance, but a community event where all come together to celebrate their faith. The drums create a sense of urgency and excitement, sparking anticipation and marking the beginning of a sacred journey. Whether it's Sabar drumming that energizes a community in Senegal, or the talking drums in northern Nigeria that announce the arrival of Eid, these rhythmic sounds hold the power to unite, mobilize, and inspire the faithful. 3. The drummer's role in the community. In many African cultures, the drummer is seen as a spiritual leader and a revered figure. They are often considered to be the keepers of tradition, mediators between the sacred and the mundane, and communicators of divine will. The drummer's role during Eid is critical in maintaining the rhythm of the festival, both literally and symbolically. Their beats create the soundtrack for the entire celebration, from the quiet moments of reflection and prayer to the joyous dances and masquerades that fill the streets. The drummer's task is to keep the community in sync, guiding everyone through the rituals and celebrations. They set the pace of the Eid prayers, dictate the rhythms of the dances, and even signal the arrival of significant moments, like the beginning of the sacrifice or the community feasts. In many ways, the drummer becomes the custodian of the festival, ensuring that the celebration follows its spiritual and cultural path. 4. Drums as a vehicle for storytelling. In addition to their spiritual and celebratory roles, the drums in African Eid celebrations are also a vehicle for storytelling. In many communities, the beats and rhythms of the drums narrate the stories of sacrifice, faith, and triumph. For example, in northern Nigeria, where talking drums are used, the rhythm can echo a history of struggle, victory, and resilience, reminding the community of the sacred sacrifices that have shaped their collective identity. The drumming serves as a living history, a connection to the past, where the ancestors' voices are heard through the beats. As the drums echo through the streets, they tell the story of the Prophet Ibrahim's sacrifice, the test of faith, and the journey of the believers. 5. The drum's influence on dance and movement. The rhythmic pulse of the drums fuels the dancing and movement that are integral parts of African Eid celebrations. In Senegal, for example, the Sabar drumming encourages dancers to move with grace and abandon, as the rhythmic patterns intertwine with the soulful movements of the people. The Zar trance dancing in Sudan and Ethiopia is similarly driven by the beats, leading participants into ecstatic states of spiritual connection. The drums and dance together form a cohesive ritual that expresses joy, devotion, and unity. As the rhythm speeds up, so do the dancers, their movements intensifying, their spirits lifting as they become one with the music, the community, and the sacred event. The drums are not just an accompaniment. They are the driving force of Eid al-Adha's spiritual and cultural energy. Across Muslim Africa, the celebration of Eid al-Adha is not complete without dance. The rhythm of the drums and the collective energy of the community come to life through the graceful and joyful movements of the dancers, making dance an essential part of the celebration. Dance is not only a form of expression, it is a spiritual act, a way of connecting with the divine, and a cultural embodiment of the festival's joyous spirit. 1. Dance as a spiritual offering. In many African cultures, dance is deeply spiritual. It is believed that through movement, the soul connects with the divine. During Eid, dance is seen as a form of worship, a celebration of life, gratitude, and community. The sacred rituals of the day are elevated through the movement of the body, allowing the spirit to align with the music, the rhythm, and the moment of devotion. In Senegal, for instance, the Sabar drumming often leads to exuberant dancing that invokes spiritual ecstasy. Dancers sway their bodies to the beats, and their movements reflect the community's collective joy and reverence. The energy of the dance amplifies the sacredness of the occasion, turning it into a collective expression of praise and celebration. 2. Dance as a symbol of unity. Dance during Eid is more than just an individual expression. It is about unity. Whether it's a community-wide dance in Senegal, a Zar trance dance in Sudan, or the Eyo masquerade dances in northern Nigeria, the movements of the dancers weave together, creating a sense of communal identity and solidarity. The group dancing during Eid celebration symbolizes the coming together of the community in the spirit of Eid, in gratitude, celebration, and faith. In northern Nigeria, where the talking drums and masquerade set the tone, the dancers' movements reflect the rich historical traditions of the region. Their energetic steps and spiritual expressions serve as a visual and kinetic link to the past, embodying the continuity of the sacred traditions that have been passed down through generations. 3. Dance as a tribute to the divine. Dance during Eid is also a tribute to the divine. As worshippers express their joy through movement, they acknowledge the greatness of Allah and the significance of Ibrahim's sacrifice. The spiritual and communal dances are intertwined with praise songs and drumming, reinforcing the connection between the earthly and the divine. In Ethiopia and Sudan, where the Zar trance rituals take place, the dancers enter states of ecstasy, induced by both the rhythms of the drums and the chanting that accompanies them. These dances are seen as a physical manifestation of devotion, where the body becomes a vessel for divine energy. Through this movement, the dancers express their submission to Allah. 4. Dance as cultural preservation. Beyond its spiritual significance, dance during Eid plays a vital role in the preservation of African culture. Through dance, the rich history, stories, and rituals of each community are passed down from one generation to the next. The steps, the styles, and the accompanying rhythms often reflect the unique histories and cultural practices of each region. For example, the Iyo masquerades in northern Nigeria and the Sabar dances in Senegal are more than just celebration. They are a living history. These dances represent cultural continuity, ensuring that each new generation inherits the spiritual and cultural legacies of their ancestors. In this way, dance becomes a ritual of remembrance, a way of keeping the traditions and practices of the community alive and vibrant. 5. Dance as a community celebration. Finally, dance at Eid celebrations provides a space for social interaction and community bonding. Families and neighbors come together to celebrate not only their faith, but also the joy of living within a supportive, loving community. The communal dance is a way of sharing joy and solidarity, of reinforcing social ties and nurturing the collective spirit. The joyous movement of the dancers becomes a collective experience, one that unites the community through rhythm, expression, and celebration. As we journey across the African continent, exploring the vibrant music, dance, and cultural practices that define Eid al-Adha, it's clear that these celebrations are more than just expressions of joy. They are deeply tied to the rich history and spiritual heritage of Africa. However, as we delve into the cultural connections between Africa and its Islamic traditions, it's important to consider the ongoing debates and scholarly research about the evolution of these celebrations and the connection between African Muslims and their broader Islamic heritage. 1. The cultural debate: African Islam and local traditions across Africa. Islam has been deeply intertwined with local cultural practices, creating a unique fusion of Islamic faith and African identity. While Eid al-Adha is rooted in Islamic tradition, the music, dances, and rituals we've explored represent a distinct African interpretation of this sacred holiday. Scholars and cultural experts have long debated the extent to which local traditions and practices, such as the use of drums, dance, and praise singing, represent authentic Islamic expression, or whether they are syncretic innovations unique to African Muslims. Some argue that the incorporation of traditional African rhythms and rituals into Eid celebrations is a natural, vibrant part of how Islam has adapted to African cultures, creating a uniquely African celebration of faith. Others, however, raise concerns about how these practices might be seen as departures from the pure Islamic forms of worship as observed in the Middle East. 2. The DNA debate: genetic studies and African identity. Alongside the cultural debate, there has also been ongoing interest in the genetic studies that seek to trace the roots of African populations and their connection to ancient civilizations, including the people of the Arabian Peninsula and the Middle East. Some have questioned whether genetic evidence can reveal deeper ties between African Muslims and the wider Islamic world, particularly in terms of historical migrations, trading routes, and cultural exchange. While some genetic studies suggest shared markers between African Muslims and populations in the Middle East, many scholars caution against drawing definitive conclusions. They argue that DNA evidence cannot alone explain the complex social, cultural, and religious exchanges that have occurred over centuries, particularly as African populations have long been diverse and shaped by internal and external forces. 3. The evolution of African Eid traditions. One of the key areas of research in this global debate is the evolution of Eid traditions in Africa. Scholars of African Islam continue to explore how African musical traditions, such as the use of drums, chanting, and dance, have integrated into Eid celebrations. This fusion of African culture with Islamic spirituality has created a celebration that is distinctly African, yet still rooted in the global Islamic faith. What becomes clear is that the African Eid is a reflection of both cultural continuity and religious devotion. The centuries-old traditions of drumming, praise singing, and dance are not simply add-ons to an Islamic celebration. They are central to the way that African Muslims express their faith. Through these rituals, Eid al-Adha is celebrated in a manner that acknowledges both African heritage and Islamic faith in a seamless fusion of cultures. 4. Celebrating diversity within unity. Ultimately, the global debate surrounding African Eid celebrations reminds us of the incredible diversity within Islamic practices across the world. From Sabar drumming in Senegal to Zar trance chanting in Sudan and the talking drums in Nigeria, the African experience of Eid is marked by a dynamic fusion of local culture and Islamic tradition. While debates about the authenticity and origins of these traditions will likely continue, one thing remains clear. The celebrations we've explored are a testament to Africa's rich cultural heritage and the ability of African Muslims to express their faith in ways that are uniquely their own. The music, dance, and rituals of Eid al-Adha across Africa represent a living, breathing tradition full of life, energy, and spiritual devotion. As we've journeyed through the diverse and vibrant Eid celebrations across Muslim Africa, we've discovered that Eid al-Adha is much more than just a day for prayer and sacrifice. It is a festival that brings communities together through the unifying power of music, dance, and celebration. From the Sabar drumming of Senegal to the talking drums of northern Nigeria, from the Zar trance chanting in Sudan to the praise singing in Fulani and Swahili cultures, Eid in Africa is a time when the drums beat and the rhythms of life fill the air. Each of these cultural expressions, whether it's the vibrant dance, the mesmerizing beats, or the sacred chants, speaks to the deep connection between faith and culture. They remind us that, for African Muslims, Eid is not just a religious observance, but a celebration of community, tradition, and joy. The sound of the drums, the movement of the dancers, and the voices of the praise singers are more than just cultural expressions. They are a living testimony to the resilience and vibrancy of African identity and faith. What we've witnessed is a celebration that is as diverse as the continent itself. The spiritual significance of Eid is honored through the rhythms and movements of the people, creating a celebration that is not only about religious devotion, but also about expressing joy, unity, and belonging. It is a celebration that invites the divine into everyday life, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary through the transformative power of music and dance. As the drums beat and the dancers move, we are reminded that these celebrations are not only about remembering the sacrifice of Ibrahim, but about honoring the community, culture, and heritage that have shaped the identity of millions of African Muslims. The sound, rhythm, and joy of Eid across Africa will continue to echo through the generations, creating a legacy of devotion, celebration, and cultural pride for years to come.